I'm Jimmy. This is Marcus, and this is the Choose Up podcast. Yeah, of course. Now you got two more dudes with mics in their hands.
But yes, sir. Two more dudes with mics were here.
But the difference is that our mics are pink, at least for right now. Shout out to my girlfriend.
How funny is this, man? I think the funny thing about this is that we've been trying to make this work for a long time.
For like 2 years, I think, is when we initially had the conversation about doing this.
I'll take the blame.
We had to get him out here first. You know, we didn't want to do it as a video type thing. We wanted it to be in person.
You know, we talk about background in sports. You've played football. I played football. And I'm imagining all of our friends right now watching saying, here we go.
It's like, yeah, they play D1 football. But I think what makes our situation a little bit different is the after more than anything. I think that we both had some pretty nuanced careers that taken us to some interesting places, whether that be location or mentally or just experience-wise, and just the growth that we've had past playing sports. And also, I think that I don't know anybody else that they played sports where they directly played against each other in college. I don't know if that ever turned out.
You poked me in the eye, bro.
That did not happen. We talking about something that never happened. It's not confirmed. It's not on the tape. And also, I think what's unique is that both of our careers kind of ended due to injury. Yeah, I think that's something unique too. It just wasn't. I mean, yeah, we probably weren't good enough to be honest, but to make it to the league. But I mean,
speak for yourself, man.
Yeah. But for me, my back, it just gave out on me my senior year. Oh well, it is what it is.
Talk about injuries, and you talk about sports, and you talk about playing college football. Once you hit D1 and you play in your first actual game, everybody who played in the game thinks that they're going to make it to the NFL.
Yes, 100%.
That's a crazy. I was so convinced, man. Like I remember sitting back sometimes. I was like, man, it's over with for these folks.
Listen.
Like, I don't care if I'm gonna be on special teams, a kick returner, because I knew I wasn't gonna play.
Yeah, right.
So let's just be honest. But that's the thing is, like, once you're done playing, you don't even know like what you're gonna do. And I feel like that's what's cool about this.
Our lives and our interests have become so far detached from sports. And the things that we care about. Don't get me wrong, we still love sports, but the things that we care about and the things that we've learned over this time have just become so far detached from sports and so much more diverse.
So we got the background in sports. Linebacker at University of Oregon.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Go Ducks, number one in the nation. Number one in the nation.
Running back at Oregon State, but professional background. I think that's what, again, makes us a little different. What's your background, professional-wise? Once you were done playing, what'd you do?
So after I got done playing, I actually ended up taking an internship for a seafood company for a while, and I was also a bouncer at the time, and I was also a coach at the time, strength coach. I was working at Orange Theory.
Hold on. Where were you a bouncer
at? Shake, bro.
Come on, baby.
You already know where I was at, boy. So I've been a bouncer, did an internship. Lovely individual. Timmy, he introduced me to the whole Nike gang because I was living in Portland at the time. Helped parlay me in there. Ended up working for Nike for about 3 or 4 years. And it was a great time. And then eventually after that, evolving into what I do now, which is just being a business owner, content creator, all that stuff. But yeah, worked corporate, worked a bunch of different kinds of jobs. I've been like a strength coach. I've been a bouncer. I've been a shoe test analyst, which I'm sure y'all have never even heard of. A lot of interesting stuff, but it just, I think it really well-rounded me. It really helped me detach my mind from like my sports self. I was talking to my girl actually when we took that trip for my birthday. We was on a kayak and I was talking to her. I think I told you this, but she asked me about like, well, how would your college football self feel about who you are now? You know what I'm saying? And I told him the version of me from college would hate me.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a millionaire. What are you doing?
Right.
So I think just like that reflection and being like, but I love who I am now.
Right.
So you don't really know when you're where you're at, how much better things can be because you don't even know what type of person you're going to be by that point. But for you, man, Oregon State guy, running back.
Hey, not just Oregon State guy. I'm gonna tell you this: that question that your girl asked you about you back in college, if you would like yourself, man, I had a chin strap beard, bro, waves. Hey, brother. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was wearing big old Timbs, big white long tees.
You know what's going on. You know who it is.
Yeah, man. My path is a lot the same. Again, played college ball. Unfortunately, tore both my ACLs. Again, don't play sports, folks. It's not worth it. But after that, again, I think the big thing is that a lot of people don't know what you want to do once you're done playing sports, because when you play sports for so long, I was always known as Marcus the Great Athlete. So once you're done playing, yeah, man, it was a wrap. I had zero idea what I wanted to do. And there was a lot of times where, when you're in school and when you're playing ball, you meet a lot of these people and they tell you what, If you need anything, come talk to me. Evanson Bernard, who's one of my great friends, a mentor of mine now, he said, if you need something, come talk to me. And that's exactly what I did, man. I was going to his office every day. Sometimes there'd be a lot of tears, man, because I was scared, because I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. He ended up working at NBC Sports Northwest, took an internship there, and then, bounced around job to job, obviously internship there, wrote for 24/7 Sports, Beaver Blitz, let's go Beavs. Was a front desk guy at 24 Hour Fitness, trained kids on the side, kind of the whole thing, man. The hustle, you got to get into it. Eventually made my way to Coin 6.
Let's go, Coin 6 knows, baby.
TV job, man, Coin 6. And then from there, went to San Diego, Channel 8, CBS 8, KFMB, baby. Spent 3 years there, and then just took a job, man, less than 2.5 months ago here in Atlanta.
Come on now.
NBC 11, baby.
NBC 11.
So now we're in the city.
My boys in Atlanta.
The cool thing about transitioning from an athlete to now a professional is that you obviously not only make your own path, but you learn a lot of wisdom along that way, which is kind of what we bring along to this, which is a choose up. I remember when you first brought this up to me, you said, we should call it the choose up. And I was like, that's a great idea, brother, but I don't know what that means. Give me a little example.
I think if I was going to define it, it's not so much the circumstances that happen to you, it's about how you respond to them. So for instance, like you might be studying all night for a test. You might be not wanting to go to school the next day and show up for class and everything. Choosing up is going to class despite the event. Or you could have a tragedy happen in your life. You could lose your job. All these things could happen to you, but you still go to the gym. You still make your food. You still do your reading. Whatever the things are that are going to put you in a better position in life long term, regardless of the circumstance, you still choose up and do those things. So it's about how you respond to different events that come to you, whether they're positive or negative, and not just allow the events themselves to take over your life.
Pretty good one.
But I mean, you've been using the term now. We've been talking about this for 2 years. So you tell the people what choose up means to Marcus Greaves.
I'll say, to me, I think choosing up is just, it sounds a little cliche when you say like live in the moment and make purposeful decisions. But I think the big thing is that you realize that at some point in your life, you really are in control of whatever you want to do, whether that be positive, negative, good thoughts, bad thoughts, whether you wake up and make your bed, or whether you just lay there for 3 hours. I think choosing up is understanding that in your subconscious mind, you are making every decision, and whatever decision that you make either has a positive outcome or a negative outcome. And if it does have a negative outcome, responding that again with a positive mindset and finding something to strive for, finding something to internally, you could decide, I'm going to be happy today. Or I'm going to make some progress today, or I'm going to better myself today. And it might sound like one of those alpha podcasts, and, I know everyone is tired of those, but, at the end of the day, I think choosing up is just making a decision each and every day, even if it's a small one, to make your life better and to benefit you in the long run, because that's what it's all about.
And let me break down this alpha male nonsense for you right now, because I get tired of this, bro.
Hold on. Would you be considered that?
No, I mean, I think other people. I think other people would. Let's break this down for y'all right now. We're gonna leave you with anything, because that's the goal here, is just to leave y'all with something every single time, something that you can apply to your life, so you can choose up a different scenario. So let's talk about this alpha male thing. Okay, number one, it's just absurd. It's ridiculous. But number two, let's give you some background context here. Are not required for you to become a womanizer or some sort of ridiculous caricature of what you think a man should be. Do y'all know where the term alpha male is actually coined from? Okay, listen closely. There's a dude named David Meck, okay? He wrote a book about wolves. He was studying wolves. He wrote a book about wolves. And this is where the term alpha male comes from, because he observed that there was a male wolf that tried to dominate the other males. And that's where you get the term alpha male. He coined that phrase, okay? So the same guy, David Meck, a few years later, he writes a second book, and he asks his publisher to stop publishing the first book. But by that time, it became so popular and everybody was reading it, because like, oh, I'm the alpha male. I'm dominating other males. Whatever. Can you think of the reason why he decided to ask his publisher to stop publishing that first book? What was the difference between the first book and the second book, and how he studied those wolves?
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I have zero idea.
Okay, it's all good. In the first book, he studied wolves in captivity. In the second book, he studied wolves in the wild. Wolves in the wild do not act like that. They do not try to dominate each other. They are collaborative, because guess what? If they're not collaborative, they are going to starve, and they are not going to make it through the winter. So please stop addressing yourself as an alpha male, because really what you're saying, and you can be mad at me if you want to, is that you're unable to collaborate, you are always trying to dominate others, and you have no room for growth, and you're in captivity. You cannot release your mind from the captivity of feeling as though you have to dominate and you have to be mean and you have to lord over the people in your life. So yeah, start collaborating and stop calling yourself alpha male, please and thank you.
Just to wrap it all back around.
Yeah.
This will be a fun experience. And also something to keep in mind, we're coming in here brand new podcasters.
Come on now.
We're learning as well.
Yeah.
We're learning how to collaborate as business partners. Obviously, we're already friends, but learning to collaborate and have deeper conversations that are, you know, a lot of the time probably going to be really funny, but also at the same time, having conversations that might be a little uncomfortable, and then also having conversations that are going to educate you and I. Because I think a problem that a lot of people have is they think that they know it all. And the way that you get to, at least from my experience, that I've got to this point where I have, is I've been like, bro, I'm willing to learn. Like, I'm a sponge over here, man. Like,
come on now.
I'm not going to come in here and tell you guys I know everything there is about broadcast media. I can tell you what I know and what I've been taught and how I've responded. But the big thing is always being able to learn. And I think that's something that we are going to be able to do. And if we're not, I'm going to have to call you out. If not, you'll have to call me out.
Come on.
And it'll be different, man. It'll be different, but it'll be fun. And again, this is only the first time we have ever picked up mics together and started talking. If you watch this and you say this is rough, I'm not going to watch it again. We'll see you guys later. That's fine.
Yeah, but hopefully what you can take from this is that we're choosing up. I mean, we talk about choose up moments a lot, and this is a choose up moment for us. We've been dragging our feet and talking about this and that and the goals and the aspirations and what we think that this could ultimately be. But at the end of the day, we wasn't filming it. We wasn't doing anything about it. Even down to these mics, you know, we had a whole mic situation. We couldn't get the mics working. My girl had to bring her mics over there. Shouts out to you. Love you, babe. But it's that's that moment of choosing up that regardless, we are going to get it done. It doesn't matter if the mics don't work. It doesn't matter if we're filming off an iPhone. It doesn't matter if we have to look at the notes and keep doing this to make sure that the laptop's on so we can see what the hell's going on. It doesn't matter. We're still going to choose to come out here because we really think that this is not something that's only going to provide value for us, but value for a lot of people that don't really understand how to destroy their ego to be open to learning. And I think that's what you were speaking to more than anything is destroying your ego. I can think about, I had to destroy my ego with football. I had to really say, like, you're not a football player anymore. Let it go. Let it go. I got homies it's like been almost 10 years since I got to college football. Over 10 years now. And they still trying to get into the league. What are we doing? At some point, you have to let it go. When you let that go and you destroy the ego and you open yourself up to new information, you're only going to elevate. It's not going to be a linear path up. It's not going to be exponential growth. But over time, you are going to elevate.
Which is the same thing for the podcast.
Come on now.
That's the whole point. Because we ain't great podcasters right now.
Not yet, but we will be.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Break.
Episode 1 break. Make sure y'all subscribe. You know, if you're seeing this on YouTube, I don't know if we ever gonna be able to get this on like Spotify and stuff yet. So for this first episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Leave us a comment about something you did to choose up today. Now that y'all have a rough definition, so it's not about the event; it's about the action you took after the event, how you decided to move better following that event. So leave us a comment about your choose up moment. We might read some of these on the podcast in the next episode. So hopefully we get at least one so we don't look like too much of losers on the first one. But
we definitely look like losers, but that's okay.
It's okay.
If folks are too cool for us, man, that's fine. Episode 1, ready?
Episode 1, man.
Ready, break.
Sheesh.